This is, we call this Building Community in a Changing Climate with the Interfaith Climate Group. And we are having a devotional and climate conversation that provides a spiritual foundation for the Climate Conversation in Action program.
O God, thou art kind to all. Thou hast provided for all and sheltered all. Conferest life upon all. Thou hast endowed each and all with talents and faculties, and all are submerged in the ocean of thy mercy. O thou kind Lord, unite all. Let the religions agree and make the nations one, so that they may see each other as one family and the whole earth as one home. Baha'i Faith, Abdul Baha.
In the universe are billions of galaxies.
In our galaxy are billions of planets.
But there is only one Earth.
For most of our history, humans lived in harmony with nature.
But we have shattered that balance,
Exploiting our planet for products and wealth, creating a climate catastrophe, driving species to extinction,
and polluting our land, seas, and air.
The web of life is fraying. If it fails, we as a species will fail too.
The science is clear, and time is running out.
We must go from harming our planet to healing it.
We must protect what we have and bring back what we lost to advance to a more sustainable future where everyone can thrive.
Humanity has come together before to prevent environmental catastrophes.
We have helped repair the ozone layer.
We have restored millions of hectares of land and marine ecosystems, protecting thousands of species. And we've banned dangerous pollutants,
Saving countless lives.
Let those victories be the torches that ignite more action and illuminate the path to a world in which we are once again at peace with nature.
In the universe are billions of galaxies. In our galaxy are billions of planets. But there is only one Earth.
Solo un planeta Tierra.
只有一个地球。
Keval एउटै पृथ्वी.
Bara en jord.
Dunia ni moja tu.
Let's take care of it. Well, hello, it's me, the Sage and Grandma Sue Blythe, and I have a story to tell. I want to tell my grandchildren so they can tell their grandchildren.
This story began long before you, and it will continue long after you. But for now, this story is yours to shape. This is the story of humanity and of the earth we inhabit. This is our declaration of interdependence, our commitment to honor the rights of all people everywhere, to protect the planet, our common home, to create shared prosperity, to strengthen universal peace, and free the world from fear and violence, to work together in partnership so that no one is left behind. We will free the human race from the tyranny of poverty. We will heal and safeguard our planet for all generations and shift our world onto a sustainable path. As we embark on this collective journey, we pledge to include every human. So we gather, we build, we write, we create, we imagine, we collaborate, we dream, we play, we speak, we run, we work, we share, we love. This is the story you are shaping.
So we are telling a story on the road to 2030, 2050, and beyond. And it's based on this moment. Begins the Earth Charter, which is a document that came out in the year 2000. We stand at a critical moment in Earth's history, the time when humanity must choose its future.
Is it really over? The echoes just seem to get longer. How did we get here? There was so much love in us, and all I have left is my faith that I can change. I can't watch this burn, I can't watch this burn to the ground. You'd have thought we'd learned, you'd have thought we'd learned by now. I can hear the whole world singing together. I can hear the whole world say it's now or never. 'Cause it's not too late if we change our ways and connect the dots to our problems. I can hear the whole world say we're in this together, we're in this together. Picking up the pieces, I listen out for beating hearts. Now it's time for healing. The sun will rise, but this time it's so bright. And all I have left is my faith that we could change. 'Cause I can't watch us lose, I can't watch us lose what we found. You'd have thought we'd learned, you'd have thought we'd learned by now. I can hear the whole world singing together. I can hear the whole world say it's now or never. 'Cause it's not too late if we change our ways and connect the dots to our problems. I can hear the whole world say we're in this together, we're in this together. Oh, I can hear the whole world singing together. And I can hear the whole world say it's now or never. 'Cause it's not too late if we change our ways and connect the dots to our problems. I can hear
Pretty wonderful world.
I'll try. I have studied the whole question and been interested in the question for quite some time. I feel that I've found good sources. I'm used to research as an academic, so I like to, be sure that I know what sources I'm using and how reputable they might be. I feel that I'm well informed. I'm not sure that I quite grasp the whole picture as much as I would like to, which is very hard to get your head around something that is so monumental. I have a good lexicon of bits and pieces of examples and prototypes and potential outcomes and so on. So I'm constantly feeling a little scrambled about exactly how knowledgeable I am. But I'm trying.
And you gave some great resources to try to be more knowledgeable, to think about where are my resources. I heard a teacher say, I always give my students the example that they should try 3 to 4 resources to find the answer to something. And maybe even more. But it isn't that we have to, I think, even be so knowledgeable about the entire picture, because that could take a lifetime, and we need the action as much as we need the research. And I think from action, we make mistakes and we learn from them and we come back. But anybody else?
Yeah, so I keep myself informed, but what I'm finding is the information, there's so much information that's contradictory.
Yeah.
Even in the name of the condition, global warming. For me, I find that the average temperature is going down. So it's not really warming, it's cooling. But we're not getting the snow, we're not getting the weather that comes with cold, we're getting the weather that comes with warm. It's very confusing. And then you hear these stories about how one hamburger, is of how it's affecting the Earth's climate. And you should stop eating beef because it's affecting the climate. And then you hear that you can't, that if we go to a fish diet, we're killing off all the fish in the ocean, and that's affecting the climate. And so you just hear all this. I don't want to call it fake news because I don't know which of it is fake and which is real. And I find scientists even say something one day and then the next day they say something totally opposite. So it's very confusing.
Yes.
So it's not that I don't keep in touch with it and I'm not aware of it. I just don't know which of it to understand. And I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but how can the scientists figure it out if they can't get a grasp of what's real and what's not real? It's almost like medicine. Medicine is a practice because every body is different. Different medicines treat different people different ways. It's the same thing with the climate. It's just, to me, a very confusing and complex situation.
And Liz, we can see you
I'll
too.
proceed that way.
Good.
Go ahead, Kim.
I'm going to say, I think that on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm probably a 4 as far as my knowledge of climate change. And I tend to look at it in the broad strokes. Like, for instance, we know the glaciers are melting. There's lots of evidence for that, and the sea level is rising. There's lots of evidence for that, and that's one of the impacts of climate change. I'm in Florida, and if we think about hurricanes come about because of the heat of the ocean. And because the oceans are heating, the hurricanes are bigger and more in a shorter period of time than it used to be. That to me is like another broad stroke of climate change. Lakes and rivers are disappearing, and drought is taking over in some parts of the world. And that's a thing of climate change. I don't necessarily understand every detail about climate change, but the broad strokes are there. And I rely on that as much as anything. I'm somewhat familiar with the United Nations and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and some of the things they talk about. I've read some of their reports. So I feel like I have a fairly decent handle on climate what's going to lead us to in the next 20 or 30 years. I'm less able to describe that with confidence, but I know that change is coming, or it is already coming, and it's whether we like it or not. And it's up to us to do something to mitigate that, or at least to build a lifestyle under the new rules, I guess.
Yeah.
And Sue, what about you?
Well,
What do you?
first I'd like to welcome Liz
Okay.
and
Thank you.
kind
Good
of
to be
clue
here.
her in about the question. Could you repeat that for her?
And I don't have it up right now,
Okay.
so
Would
maybe.
I did hear the question. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Thank you.
so for me, I guess I'm also about a 4. I know that I used to, around the turn of the century, back in the turn of the century, I used to tell young people, I would go into the schools as I was the reduce, reuse, recycle lady for the county. And I would tell the children, we're kind of making a mess of this planet, and trash, it was the topic. And but our planet is really changing. We've upset the balance of nature, and our planet is getting warmer. And your grandchildren will see the effects of this.
Yeah.
And in 2013, just 13 years after that, I took a course on climate change that gave me such an in-depth understanding of the problem. And also a rich, hopeful understanding of the spiritual solutions and the coming together of our human family to deal with this. And so that's been my focus, and really using the crisis, the urgency of the climate emergency as a tool for helping to bring about this coming together of the peoples of the world to a global civilization that really can take care of this kind of problem.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. Anybody else want to share?
You know me, I like to visit. When I lived on the Gulf Coast in rural North Florida, I was absolutely astonished at how many people would dump used appliances out in the 2 blocks off the highway. They at that time there were no sewers. It was all septic tanks, and that entered into the bay. They just put it into the bay. And most of the infrastructure in that part of the state is so old that the pipes are rusting, and the water that comes out of the pipes is orange. And so, part of it is the government has to step up and replace aging infrastructure, not just roads, but sewers and water pipes, that kind of thing. And then the public needs to be educated as to, you just don't throw stuff anywhere, recycle it, or at least take it to a place where they'll, dismantle your used appliances, that kind of thing. But until the public thinks about it, and we're really fighting an uphill battle.
Mhm. And regarding science, I just, it's like doctors who are practicing medicine. I always said they really don't know what they're doing because they're still practicing,
Right.
My dad was a doctor, so that was always the joke. But at the same time, with science, with really being around a lot of scientists, they will change their minds because new evidence comes up too. That's the constant. They're always collaborating and gathering and then coming to a decision. And when that's not quite working out, they go back at it and it'll change again. So we can always count on that. But until we see the floods or the fires in our backyard or see
That's
what's
right.
happening on the other part of the world, I'm watching TED Talks, I'm watching different news channels, PBS, all different things to get different perspectives. And when I start to see the problems, when I see oceans, with fields and miles of garbage floating,
Yeah.
and I'm in the Caribbean, in the Bahamas, and elderly people are picking up on the beach so much plastic, which is getting into our fish, which is going to get into us if we eat only the fish, like Mark said, the microplastics. I saw a piece on the Sunday morning program that was the ocean's tired. It's not, it has always helped to cool, and it is now overheated to the point where it's given up. It's at its point. We're at tipping points. When COP28, this is again, 200 countries just met in Dubai and had a conversation about what has to happen on this planet. The head of the person who organized this conference was the leading oil and gas company in Dubai. He organized it. And it's 200 companies transitioning who are up and clapping, and hopefully they'll hold to it, transitioning away from fossil fuels.
Yep.
And on the same program, I just watched a brand new train, a speed train that's going from Orlando down to Miami, all on electric, doing 16 trips back and forth every day. And it was funded by the public. We just saw a plane, electric plane this morning on the Sunday morning program, lift off and hover over. It's like it even said where it's going, we don't need roads. It's over the roads. It was something that can go for 2 hours. They said in 7 years they'll double that. In another 7 years, battery storage will double that. They said we're going to see in our lifetime a jet plane traveling on electric.
Okay.
That's
I'm ready.
possible,
Yeah.
So science, there's so many wonderful things. Even just a note, hey, let's get positive. Just my last thing is, how about they said that CO2 emissions per capita, per person in the world has been cut in half since 2000 to 2023. The line was cut in half. These things can happen. And that one gentleman who was the Secretary of Energy for one of the administrations said that, during the Stone Age, we didn't have enough. It wasn't that we didn't ran out of stones or that type of energy that was used at that time to push a cart, but we just transitioned to a better form of energy. And that's what we have to do.
And
But
that's what we are doing, right?
yes.
And that's the point of this question, really, is to find out from young people, what do you know? And they are probably the best educated in many cases. I don't know. We're going to find out this year what the status of climate education is in our Alachua County, Florida, and just see where we can help. And so that's part of our process. So let's continue. We will share, and I'll continue with my story. Our fictional story takes us to the year 2050 when the Earth's temperature is coming back down. In the year 2050, the sage in me is age 103. My great-grandson Leaf has questions, and I have a lifetime of stories to tell. Great-Grandma Sage, tell me how Alachua County helped to win the global goals. Ah, yes, I tell them, I remember it well. Back in 2015, the United Nations agreed on 17 goals we needed to win by 2030. And these are the goals.
We can be.
We must be the first generation
to end extreme poverty.
The generation
most determined
to fight injustice and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done. The global goals.
A 15-year plan
For everyone. Everywhere.
With no one left behind.
We will live in a world
where nobody
anywhere lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
Where no one wakes in the morning
Asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die of
Diseases we know how to cure.
And where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world
Where everyone
goes to school.
and education gives us the knowledge
and skills
For a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities
to thrive
And be powerful.
and safe.
we cannot succeed if afterwards.
We will live in a world
where all people can get clean water
And proper toilets at home.
at school and at work.
We will live in a world where there is sustainable energy for everyone.
Heat, light, and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper.
and new wealth.
Lead to decent jobs.
For everyone.
And we will live in a world where our industry,
Our infrastructure and our
Best innovations.
Are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
we will live in a world
Where prejudices and extremes of inequality
are defeated.
Inside our countries.
And between different countries.
where people live in cities and communities
That are safe, progressive,
And support everyone who lives there.
where we replace
What we consume.
Planet where we put back
What we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back the threat of climate change.
change.
where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
will restore
and protect
Life on land.
the forests.
Animals.
the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
Where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
With everyone equal before the law.
Where all countries and we their people.
Work together.
Ships of all kinds.
To make these global goals a reality.
These are the United Nations global goals.
For sustainable development.
Let's get to work.
Well, everyone. So that's part of our plan, is to get this message out. At the end of 2023, we knew the world was falling behind in the race to win the global goals by 2030.
One last thing, and I want everyone's eyes on me when I say this. Look at me.
So in January 2024, we used the global goals as a blueprint for Martin Luther King's World House. Welcome to the Climate Collaboratory. We're creating a blueprint for a world house.
Attention, attention. It's code red for humanity. The planet is getting way too warm. The tree of life is in danger, and many species are going extinct. We must escape this climate calamity.
We need a blueprint for a better future. We just happen to have one. In 2015, the United Nations adopted 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
We need to win the global goals by 2030 if we're going to escape this climate calamity.
2030? That's when I will graduate from high school.
People all over the world are helping to make a better future. We want to collect stories about how they are doing that.
We're looking for climate collaborators who will help young people like us build a world that works for all. That's 100% of humanity and the community of life on Earth, our home. We also want stories and songs and books and movies and a lot more stuff that will help kids like me and Rebecca understand what the blueprint is all about.
We are living the story that our great-grandchildren will tell many, many years from now. In January and February, we'll use the blueprint for a better future to help build Martin Luther King's World House.
In his Nobel Peace Prize lecture in 1964, Dr. King said, "We have inherited a big house, a great world house, in which we have to live together, black and white, Easterners and Westerners, Gentiles and Jews, Catholics and Protestants, Muslim and Hindu, a family unduly separated in ideas, culture, and interests who, because we can never again live without each other, must learn, somehow, in this big world, to live with each other."
We want to build a world house where we can learn to live together. We have the blueprint to build the big world house. We need you to help us make a world that works for people and the planet for many generations to come.
You can be a leader in our community-wide Climate Conversation to Action program.
Visit our website at climatecollaboratory.org and learn how you can be a climate collaborator in your home, school, and community.
Join us on the world to 2030, 2050, and beyond.
We need to wake up. We need to wise up. We need to open our eyes and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future.
So in February, we launched the Global Goals Treasure Hunt for 2024. The treasures we looked for were the people who were bringing the goals to life in their homes, schools, and communities. Our challenge was to find people working on each of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And the elders shared words of wisdom that we wanted to pass on to future generations.
In ancient times, problems were mostly family size, and they were naturally tackled at the family level. But the situation has changed. Today, we are so interdependent, so closely interconnected with each other, that without a sense of universal responsibility, a feeling of universal brotherhood and sisterhood, and an understanding and belief that we really are part of one big human family, we cannot hope to overcome the dangers to our very existence, let alone bring about peace and happiness. The Dalai Lama, Buddhism.
Know you who believe, stand out firmly for God as witnesses to fair dealing, and let not the hatred of others to you make you swerve to the wrong and depart from justice. Be just, that is next to piety, and fear God, for God is well acquainted with all that you do.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Christianity.
On justice, on truth, and on peace. And all three are intertwined. When justice is done, truth is served, and peace ensues.
Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can make this world a better place. Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can make this world a better place. Live together, love forever. It's the only thing we can do. I'll be saying we're gonna make it through. Oh, yeah. Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can make this world a better place.
Afrikan, Amerikan, de man är på Don Ben. Asian, European, de man är på Don Ben. Salut, salam, shalom, salut, salam, shalom. Noir ou blanc, rouge et jaune. Nie pe bokriem, nie pe bokriem, nie pe yale, nie bom. Nie pe bokriem, nie pe bokriem, nie pe yale, nie sac. Nie pe bokriem, nie pe bokriem, nie pe tomada ma.
Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you hear it through the music, we can make this world a better place. Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can make this world a better place. Freedom and justice is the melody that let us shine on. If you hear it through the music, we can make this world a better place.
Yeah, for that.
So we were learning to create peace on and with the earth.
Humanity is but a single brotherhood. So make peace with your brethren. Islam and the Quran.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
These fruitless strifes, these ruinous wars shall pass away, and the most great peace shall come. Baha'i. They can be the change. They must be the change.
I find that words of wisdom can be also, I'm hearing it in society. Where is the tolerance? Where is the compassion? Where is all the virtues? The moral compass? You know, if we're raised on 100 virtues that can help to shape us as citizens of this world, you know, we can tackle and collaborate and have patience with each other. And so I'm hoping that the words of wisdom would be to really train your children in virtues. Beethoven said that was his only regret in life. He did not feel like he trained his children enough in enough virtues. So
yeah.
Any other words of wisdom you'd like to see young people?
I would add that I know there was a family that did a research through all the holy books of the different religions and came up with a list of those virtues that were common to all of them. And so it's not choosing which narrow set of virtues you want. We have universal virtues and values that we can work on together.
And one that is foundational is truthfulness. So that is one key one that I would greatly want to pass on. And Kim, I know you're muted, but if you wanted to unmute or offer anything, or Mark.
The idea I've been turning over in my head is that we can't keep going down the path that we are on. I'm thinking about the destruction in Gaza, the destruction in Ukraine, and other conflicts around the world. And somehow we've got to get past that. And I don't know ultimately what the answer to that is, but we've got to get off this path that we're on.
And how you're putting it, that what can I do when these things are occurring? But I have found personally, maybe it's within my own family. You know, it's almost a microcosm of the whole world is starting in our family, to make sure there's unity between our neighbors, our family, our coworkers. You know, this is so important. You know, when we got the statistics on World War II and how many people died in World War II, it was 53 million people and 34 million were civilians. And somebody asked Einstein if what weapons would be used in World War III. And he goes, don't quite know which type of weapons would be used, but I can tell you in World War IV, it'd be just sticks and stones. We have to start somewhere. So being kind and being considerate, being of service to each other, I think these are key. So
it occurs to me, words of wisdom I want to pass on are from the Earth Charter. It's kind of a definition of peace. It says we recognize that peace is the wholeness created by right relationships with oneself, other persons, other cultures, other life, earth, and the larger whole of which all are a part. So if we can work on that individually at all of those levels, it would be a much better world.
It would.
And here, this is the next part of what we're trying to do from the Earth Charter also. provide all, especially children and youth, with educational opportunities that empower them to contribute actively to sustainable development. We have something to
Who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh. They love you. And you of tender years can't know the fears that your elders grew by, and so please help them with your youth. They see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh. And know they love you.
So, in February of 2024, during the World Interfaith Harmony Week, we created teams in Alachua County to make plans for Earth Day in April. We invited people to share songs of peace on and with the earth.
This is an open letter from you and me together. Tomorrow's in our hands now.
Find the words that matter, say them out loud, and make it better somehow.
Looking down from up on the moon is a tiny blue marble. Who'd have thought the ground we stand on
Could be so fragile.
This is a love song to the earth. You know what an ordinary world, a diamond in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it inside the earth. Keep it inside the earth. Keep it inside the earth. 'Cause it's our world. It's not about possessions, money or religion, how many years it might live.
When the only real question that matters is still a matter of perspective. Looking down from up on the moon, you're a tiny blue marble.
Who'd have thought the ground we stand on
Could be so fragile.
She under great stress unless you wanna be motherless. Green heart is the way of dress. Speediness and too much greediness. 6 billion people all want plentiness. Some people think this is harmless, but if we continue, they'll only be emptiness.
This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world. The timing in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe. Keep it safe.
Finish your paradise.
Keep it safe. This is a love song to the earth. You're no ordinary world. Timing in the universe. Heaven's poetry to us. Keep it safe. Keep it It's our world. It's our world. 'Cause it's our world.
Please keep it safe.
It's our world.
During World Interfaith Climate Week in February 2024, we also invited young people to make action plans for Earth Day. And in April, we celebrated Earth Day with our friends around the world. And here we are, back in 2023, on the very last day of the year that marks the halftime for the global goals. This is where you come into the climate conversation in action. Over the years, we've been collecting little tiny videos of people who are making a difference. And I'll just read through these quickly. From all ages, we have I recycle, I turn off the water, I turn off lights, I live in the country, I educate children, I help people conserve resources, I plant fruit trees, I teach peace, I collect rainwater, I listen and try to understand, I plant trees, I use a clothesline.
I use I don't use plastic bags. I take my own bags to the grocery store and give them as gifts.
This is going to sound like a weird one, but as a death doula, I work with my patients to recycle their bodies, whether they donate them to medical science or there's actually compost sites for human bodies.
That's something, yes, indeed. Thank you.
Yes. Because our bodies are actually to just, some people choose this, but to just, if it was a natural way, that when we leave this world, so many choose cremation. And if it was natural, I would think that we would just burst into flames, but we don't. But when we do cremation, we still release CO2 into the air. We're collectors of CO2, even our bodies. So going back and gradually composting, I've seen a lot of videos on those sites, and it's really a beautiful way of going back to the earth, just naturally how we came in. So thank you, Mark, for that.
I've actually had more success with donating bodies to medical schools. Most medical schools will accept the body. They'll strip it of parts they can use for transplants, and then they use them for cadavers for teaching. And then they send them to compost. They don't bury them. Well, they do bury them, but they bury them in cadaver farms so that they can study how long it takes for a cadaver to disintegrate. So there's a lot that gets done with one body, a lot of research.
Yeah.
What's a good way to do that? To get
some medical schools actually charge, like I have one patient who told me that it was going to cost her $300 to register. I registered with Rutgers Medical School, and it didn't cost me anything. I would start by where do you live? And,
I'm in
look at
Florida.
medical schools near you. The closer they are, the less likely they're going to be to charge you.
That's worth investigating just to find out where you could make use of that kind of service.
Right.
Any other
As I
thoughts?
said, most medical schools I have found take that because otherwise they have to buy the bodies for cadavers, which is an expense. So if they get donated cadavers, it's another. I've actually had a patient that there's what's it called, the body exhibit. They have this guy invented this way to embalm you with latex so the body stays intact, and he uses them, and he has exhibits all over the world. Here in America, the bodies usually come out of India or China. The company makes efforts so that there's little to no chance that somebody walks into the exhibit and sees somebody they know. But again, it's a way to it actually turns your body into an art piece.
That we are living in a time, and we started out with we stand at a critical moment in Earth's history, and I call this a wish and a hope and a prayer. Let ours be a time remembered for the awakening of a new reverence for life, the firm resolve to achieve sustainability, the quickening of the struggle for justice and peace, and the joyful celebration of life.
O my God, O my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them the strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord. Baha'i writings, I can't pronounce the second.
As Baha'u'llah, as the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith. And so here we are doing our best to build community in a changing climate. And this is with the Interfaith Climate Group, and we are providing a spiritual foundation for the Climate Collaboratory, which is a multicultural project of We the World and a growing network of partners.